We've heard nothing from him, have we? Since we sent him all that money.
After breakfast, on a Sunday morning, I took the manuscript of Jane Eyre and began to read it. The story quickly took me captive. Presently, the servant came to say luncheon was ready. I asked him for a sandwich and a glass of wine and still went on with Jane Eyre. A hasty dinner followed, and before the night was out, I had finished that extraordinary novel.
On the 19th of October, 1847, Jane Eyre was published to instant acclaim.
Jane Eyre is a book to make the pulses gallop and the heart beat and to fill the eyes with tears. The figures are bold, true, well-defined, full of life. Mr. Currabell possesses narrative power in an uncommon degree.
Jane Eyre combines masculine hardness, coarseness and freedom of expression with a heathenist doctrine of religion.
Despite, or perhaps because of the mixed reviews, Jane Eyre was a runaway success and was rapidly reprinted. The eminent author William Makepeace Thackeray was full of praise.
I am honoured to be approved by Mr. Thackeray, but I think it's time I told Papa about Jane Eyre.
Charlotte, I've been reading your book. I think it's a better book than I expected. Don't stay up too late now, girls.
Thank you, Papa.
In a bid to exploit the success of one of the Bell brothers, Emily and Anne's publisher, Thomas Courtly Newby, had finally brought out Wuthering Heights and Agnes Grey.
Agnes Grey is a sort of younger sister to Jane Eyre. It teaches us to put every trust in supreme wisdom and goodness.
Wuthering Heights is wild, confused, disjointed and improbable. Vulgar depravity and unnatural horrors. The people are savages.
The violence and amorality in Wuthering Heights caused a sensation. Charlotte was deeply hurt by the critics' attacks on her sister, but Emily paid no heed. To her publisher's delight, she started work on a second novel. Anne also began another novel, The Tenant of Wildfell Hall, a story fired by her horror at Branwell's adulterous affair and decline into alcoholism. It was a dark tale which depicted the destructive effects of drink and loose morals on the young and the efforts of a good woman to protect her son.
So my little Arthur came down every evening and learned to tipple wine like Papa.
She smelt it.
To swear and to have his own way like a man, and sent Mamma to the devil when she tried to prevent him.
Grandmother begged me to bring him 5 pence of gin to get him through tonight. Pitiful they were. Parson did what he could. Never stopped hoping the boy would find himself again. But his sisters had given up on him.
Meanwhile, Thomas Courtly Newby had tried to sell The Tenant of Wildfell Hall to an American publisher, claiming that it was by the author of Jane Eyre.
We must all go to London immediately to prove to my publisher that we had no part in Newby's fraud. Hurry. We don't have much time if you have to catch the train from Keighley. Emily?
Mr. Smith will have to make do with Currer and Acton Bell. Ellis has no desire to go to London.
On the 8th of July, 1848, Charlotte and Anne arrived at the London offices of George Smith.
We were dressed in the plain country garments which were the only ones we possessed. I smiled at the contrast between me and Mr. Smith.
How can I help?
My name is Charlotte Bronte. You may know me as Cora Bell. And this is my sister Anne, Acton Bell. If you would like proof of our identities, you may recognize this letter that you sent to me only last week.
How extraordinary.
Explanations, talk. Tonight you must go to the Italian Opera. You must see the exhibition. Mr. Thackeray would be pleased to see you. Talk, until I offered a grave explanation that no one was to know the true identity of the Bell brothers. Mr. Smith did not like the quiet plan, but consented. He made himself altogether very pleasant.
I must confess, my first impression of Charlotte Bronte's personal appearance was it was interesting rather than attractive. She was very small and had a quaint, old-fashioned look. Her head seemed too big for her body, but she had fine eyes. She seemed to have an excessive anxiety about her appearance. I believe she would have given all of her genius to have been beautiful.
Charlotte's correspondence with George Smith took a new turn, and through their letters the couple began to fall in love. But Branwell's hopes for happiness had long since vanished. On September the 23rd, 1848, he walked into Haworth for the last time.
John, in all my past life, I've done nothing, either great or good.
It was a consumption, brought on by years of abuse, too much drinking, not eating properly. He knew it were coming. In his room I saw one of his drawings. It showed him asleep with death beckoning to him.
My pa was heartbroken, and he blamed himself for not stopping him drinking. But Bramwell was so young, you know, just gone 30. Well, we'd all had such high hopes for him.
O Lord, give him unfeigned repentance for the errors of his life past, and steadfast faith in thy Son Jesus, that his sins may be done away by thy mercy, and his pardon sealed in heaven before he go hence, and be no more seen.
I myself, with painful, mournful joy, heard my brother praying softly in his dying moments.
My son. My son.
The removal of our only brother must be regarded as a mercy. I do not weep from a sense of bereavement, but for the wreck of talent. Nothing remains of him but a memory of errors and sufferings.
And so Branwell's name was added to the Bronte family plaque, beneath those of the mother and sisters he had lost in childhood.